This is Kessben 93.3 FM, a new wave of excellence in radio.
I heard Sansemi Neaka. Asofo ahurejina Muslimi for aye wild. Traditional rulers and I say one hour traditionalists and so ababoso na no de kosen enyumbre. We are privileged and honored to have Most Reverend Philip Naameh, or president of the Catholic Bishop Conference, yeneno chuche enkomo enyumbre na ya nadwenchire on this issue. Good evening, Most Reverend Philip Naameh.
Good evening, sir.
Please, how are you doing this evening?
Fine. I hope you are doing well too.
Well, by the grace of God, we are okay. We are fine.
Yes.
And we welcome you to Kessben Studios.
Okay.
Okay. We are live in the Greater Accra region and its environs via 92.9. We are live in Kumasi Ashanti region and its environment 93.3. We are also live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. So I want to engage you or solicit your opinion on the raging issue which is currently before the August House, that is Parliament of Republic of Ghana, on this issue about whether or not the bill currently before Parliament on LGBTQ should proceed or we should withdraw. What is the position of the Catholic Bishop Conference?
The position of the Bishops' Conference is that the bill should proceed because we feel that the practice of the LGBT people does not reflect the social and cultural values of all sectors of the Ghanaian society. Even though constitutionally they say Ghana is a secular state, but I think this is the opinion of only a few people. In actual fact, all Ghanaians are believing people. They believe in a supreme being. They believe in God, no matter how they call him. And therefore, they also believe that God created the human person in sexual differentiation. That means man and woman. And he created marriage to be an institution between a man and a woman. And this union of man and woman in marriage is also meant to collaborate with God in the further creation of the human species. This is the position of our traditional leaders. It is the position of all believing people in Ghana, Christians, Muslims, the traditional believers as well. And therefore, we feel that this is a test of our independence. This bill, to say the bill should not proceed is to say, let us leave our Ghanaian convictions about what life is, what the union between man and woman is, what marriage is fundamentally, and adopt the ideas and positions of foreigners, people outside us, because they have lost the sense of God. And obeying God is not considered important for them because of the discoveries they have made, and as some people say, because they have progressed. But to so progress as a human being that a man should marry a man, I would say that is not progress at all.
Hello, Most Reverend, let me ask you this question. Several people have asked this question, that we have lived with people who practice in their private bedrooms this gayism and this lesbianism for ages. So if the state called Ghana is not taking steps to legalize this gayism and lesbianism, but we have laws that prescribe or that criminalizes people who have this unnatural carnal knowledge, why should we be in the haste to go and pass a new law that will seek to criminalize people that we have lived with in the confines of their private homes?
Well, this is an assertion, an allegation. There has never been conducted a survey to find out whether what you are asserting is in accordance with the facts of a Ghanaian situation. This is just an assertion. There have never been a research where you can come out and say this percentage of Ghanaians since time immemorial have been practicing this. This is only an allegation, and I will say motivated by the pressure put on us by foreigners. I was just trying to say that this is a test of our own independence. It is not because we are poor that we should accept that what we are convinced of should be dropped and take views of other people who consider themselves progressive people in order that they will give us money. Or they are using the fact that they have more money for us and Ghana is a poor country, and even those who are enlightened but may not have jobs, may not have a livelihood, are exploited to take the monies of foreigners and to act against their best conscience. I think this is the time that if we say we are an independent country, let us assert the values that we believe in. That for the average Ghanaian, when we speak about marriage, we are talking about the union of a man and woman for life.
Most Reverend, this definition of marriage, as you have stated, is not the high definition of marriage, which is also a foreign or monogamous definition of marriage, which we have also imported into our country, which is now becoming part of our culture, our cultural values. That our traditional elders were engaged in polygamy. Now, with the advent of Christianism or Christian religion, we have now drifted from this polygamous marriage, and we now say that one man, one woman, which is also at variance with our traditional culture. Is that not what is manifesting?
Well, I don't think that many Ghanaians have any issue with polygamy, because it leaves the opportunity open. And it is a choice which Ghanaians can make. And with time, if you say it's Christian influence that people are drifting now to monogamy, it is the same Ghanaians who have realized that being engaged in a monogamous marriage may facilitate the partnership that they are looking for in marriage much better. But we have also traditional religion practitioners and Islam, where for Islam, they permit their adherents to marry up to 4 wives under the caveat, provided you can love all of them equally. So this already points to a situation that where it cannot be practiced that way, it is advisable that people marry the one wife. And even though polygamy was predominant at a certain stage in our history, they have always been monogamous. So it is not Christianity alone that have kind of pressurized people to be monogamous. They have always been monogamous, even though a good number of people were polygamous. So this is what I would say.
Okay.
Let us get on to a practice which is supported by typical Ghanaian values, and not be forced or coerced to adopt values and practices which are in essential foreign to us.
We are having a conversation tonight on democracy with Most Reverend P. Naameh, who is the president of the Catholic Bishop Conference, on this controversial issue of LGBTQ bill currently before Parliament. Most Reverend, let me crave your indulgence and ask you this question. People have asked this question severally. That if, as you have stated, statistics will show that majority of Ghanaians are religious people because either they are Christians, they are Muslims, or they are traditional believers. Now, if we say that more than 90% of Ghanaians are religious, they believe in a supreme being, and they appreciate the fact that matters relating to or practices relating to this gayism and lesbianism are evil, why are we scared? Because if we have inculcated Christian values, Muslim values into our people, and they accept that this is a sin, why are we scared that if we don't pass a law, some Ghanaians who we see as Christians, Muslims, and religious traditionalists will drift to this gayism and lesbianism? Is it a case that we have failed to inculcate Christian values, Muslim values, and traditional values into the people, that we are now beginning to be scared that let's pass a law and criminalize this? Other than that, people would adopt these practices. What do we say to this?
I don't think that we have failed, but I think that if you, the media people, have your ears on the ground, we are quite concerned that this LGBT are entering our schools and destroying the consciences of our little kids, telling them things like, it is your right to choose what gender you want to be. Gender is a question of choice. Imagine you sending your little girl to school and she comes home and says, Daddy, I don't like people calling me a girl. I want to be a mixture of boy and girl. This is the type of thing which is happening. And we feel that it's getting too far, because some people, they may not be that many, but they have the money to induce people to practice what is totally against what I would call Ghanaian values. And that is why we feel that it's better to act now to protect people who want to grow up in their normal tradition as Ghanaians. So that is the purpose. It's not that Christianity or Islam have failed, but there is too much aggression sponsored by people who think that they have progressed more than us in terms of economic endowment. And therefore they can do with us whatever they want, even when we come to see that this thing is not good for us. So this bill is also a way for Ghana, for our parliamentarians to say that we are an independent state, and they should also respect our freedom to pass the laws that protect our values. Nobody should say, imagine a Ghanaian writing a memo to a parliament in Belgium or in the United States telling them to adopt polygamy. Can you imagine that? It will be considered a joke. No parliament in those so-called advanced nations will even consider it any serious thing. If a proposal like that will come from an African country to consider enacting polygamy as a legal system of marriage. So why should we be open to opinions whereby money is used because we are vulnerable and poor to coerce us to adopt values which are not yet values for us?
We're having a conversation with Most Reverend P. Naameh, who is the President's Catholic Bishop Conference, on this raging topic, LGBTQ bill currently before Parliament. Most Reverend, let me also ask you, this has also come out on the several, that why are we not inclined to show compassion to people who are indulged or involved or engaged in these abnormal practices, which is at variance to the culture, than seeking to criminalize and send our own people to prison for doing things that other people will show compassion to? Are we not losing it?
First of all, I don't agree with you. If you read the memo that the Bishops' Conference has sent to Parliament, we are saying very clearly that as human persons created in the image and likeness of God, the gay and lesbians deserve respect and compassion. In fact, the Holy Father, Pope Francis, was the first to appeal to families whose members are gay and lesbian to be compassionate with them. So this question of compassion is very strong in our opinion, in what we stand for. And we have even made a clear distinction, which may not be known to many people, between the inclination and the acts. That there may be people who have the inclination to be gay or lesbian, but they don't act out. Nobody should harass them for anything or criminalize them for anything. It is only when a woman says, I'm going to get married to a fellow woman, then they subject themselves to the negative side of the law. But so long as they are living their inclination, they also need to be respected. Nobody needs to harass them or to discriminate against them because they have the inclination to be gay. Is that clear? This is our position. And so we are not just going forward to criminalize people because they say, I have the inclination to be gay or lesbian. No.
Okay.
So the criminalization is when they break the law. If it becomes law that to be homosexual and to practice homosexuality is against the law in Ghana. No. It is only then that those who will fall foul of the law will have to suffer the consequences.
We are privileged to have Most Reverend Naameh, who is the President, Catholic Bishops Conference, speaking to us this evening on democracy on Kessben, on this raging topic, which is currently before Parliament, whether or not we should proceed or withdraw the passage of this law or bill on this LGBTQ thing.